when they approach you or you are looking for jobs, I know people are desperate to get jobs. And there is this culture of it is normal now. It is kind of normalized. Once they approach you or they ask or demand for money for this job or for the to give you appointment letter, walk into ICPC office, go to operation department or any officer of the ICPC you can report to. Go there and ICPC will do the necessary things to bring down these syndicates.
Hello and welcome to Transparency Files, ICPC's weekly television program. My name is Murna Barnabas Atiayi. Every year, thousands of young Nigerians have their dreams crushed by job racketeering, paying huge sums for fake employment letters, phantom interviews, and forged credentials. This cruel fraud steals more than money. It exploits desperation and deepens unemployment. Today, we expose the syndicates behind it and how you can protect yourself. But first, here are this week's top anti-corruption highlights. Stay with us.
Welcome to this segment on anti-corruption stories. I am Ruth Awodi. ICPC has secured the conviction of one Hassan Abdullahi, superintendent of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC), for offences bordering on certificate forgery and corrupt advantage. Delivering judgment on the matter, Honorable Justice E. Okpe of the Federal Capital Territory High Court sitting in Gudu, Abuja, found the defendant guilty on a 2-count charge preferred against him by the Commission. In the course of the trial, ICPC's prosecutor, Mr. Hamza Sani, had led evidence before the court on how the convict dishonestly presented a forged Nigeria Certificate in Education (NCE) of Adamu Ogi College of Education, Agungu, Kebbi State, to the NSCDC in December 2010 for the purpose of career advancement. The offence contravenes Section 366 and is punishable under Section 364 of the Penal Code Act. The court accordingly sentenced the convict to 2 years imprisonment or a fine of 2 million naira. On count 2, the court found that between December 2011 and October 2022, Hassan Abdullahi, while serving as a public officer, used his position to confer corrupt advantage on himself by receiving salaries and benefits applicable to the rank of senior inspector on the basis of the forged certificate earlier submitted. This act violates Section 19 of the Corrupt Practice and Other Related Offences Act 2000. The court therefore sentenced him to 5 years imprisonment without an option of fine. In addition to the custodial sentences, the court, relying on Section 321 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015, ordered the convict to refund all salaries, benefits, and emoluments received from the date he fraudulently upgraded his career until he ceased receiving salaries from the federal government. The Commission welcomes this judgment as a reaffirmation of the judiciary's support in the fight against corruption, particularly in the public service, where acts such as certificate forgery and corrupt self-enrichment undermine professionalism, integrity, and public trust. ICPC remains committed to the diligent investigation and prosecution of all forms of corruption and urges public institutions to strengthen their internal verification processes to prevent such abuses. In another development, ICPC and the Coalition for Dialogue in Africa, CODA, have renewed their partnership through the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) aimed at strengthening anti-corruption initiatives and asset recovery efforts across Africa. The signing ceremony took place at the ICPC headquarters in Abuja as part of activities marking the 2025 International Anti-Corruption Day. The chairman of ICPC, Dr. Musa Adamu Aliyu, SAN, welcomed the executive director of CODA, Ms. Suad Osman Aden, and Ambassador Maxwell Mkwezalamba, senior advisor to CODA, and underscored the importance of the renewed collaboration. In her remarks, Ms. Osman Aden expressed appreciation for the warm reception accorded the delegation, noting that the coalition continues to grow with increased support from African countries. Also speaking, Ambassador Maxwell Nkwezalamba thanked ICPC for hosting the delegation and expressed optimism about the future of the partnership. In his response, Dr. Liu said the renewed partnership reflects ICPC's strong commitment to continental development, disclosing that he currently chairs the steering committee of the Africa Asset Recovering Practitioners Forum, AARPF, which is working to strengthen anti-corruption frameworks across African countries. The signing of the MOU is considered historic as it follows the recent passage of the Asset Recovery Bill and builds on earlier collaborations between ICPC and CODA in validating processes to combat illicit financial flows. Both organizations expressed confidence that the renewed partnership would contribute significantly to Africa's development by ensuring that recovered assets and cultural artifacts are deployed for the benefit of African people. That will be all on this segment. Transparency Files continues with Murna.
Corruption not in my country. This CV is for Eugenia here. She's here for the vacancy. See to the CV and she got the job.
Could you please wait for me at the reception? But sir.
Yes?
She studied physical and health education.
Yes?
We already shortlisted 3 qualified candidates for the job. They all studied accounting. With all due respect, sir, we need qualified people in the accounts department. People who are good with figures.
How do you know that she does not understand what figures are?
But why do we need a square peg in a round hole?
What is important here is to fill in the vacancy. Anyhow, I will take.
I can't be a part of this. That is a language of corruption. And corruption, not in my country. Corruption, not in my country.
Welcome back to Transparency Files. Job racketeering is a booming illegal business. Fraudsters impersonate government agencies, create fake recruitment portals, and demand millions for positions that don't exist. Some even forge certificates to place unqualified candidates into crucial roles, endangering lives and undermining professionalism. We spoke with a victim who learned this the hard way.
Around, I think it was 2015 or 16, I was planning to, get a new career. And a friend sent a link to me, and so I applied. Unknown to me, the link and application, some people on Facebook reached out to me, and the guy said, look, I have connections with that MDA you're trying to apply to, and if you pay a certain amount, and I think 2016 or 2015, I think it was about 2.5 million or 3 million naira to get the job. When I saw the link and I clicked, if I had the money then, maybe I would have. But I also decided, let me go to the website of this MDA that I'm applying to. And it was clearly stated there, all offers are free, don't pay anybody, this and that. And so I went back to the guy, that I was chatting with, and I said, see, this and this is what it says on the website. How comes you want to get money from me? And I think that's where the whole transact kind of broke down, and it ended up not going through. So, if I had the money, I probably would have, and I probably will not get the job because it was a scam. So I realized it was a scam, like I said, when I went to their website and discovered that, the people that were offering the job said, don't pay. And then when I started speaking with the man, I discovered that he was very shady. So sometimes he tells me, what did you study? This is the right position for you. Then at times he will change and say, just bring it. Your school certification doesn't matter. We'll find a way to put you in. For the next 2 years, when you get in, you won't get salaries. but we'll put you, you'll be gazetted, then we'll register you in such a way. He kept making all these very grandiose plans, very grandiose offers to me. And at some point I felt like, oh, this is not real. So what did I do? Well, at that time, I didn't really know what to do except just try my luck somewhere else, but also make sure that I don't fall into that plan. But I found out later that the same man and his friends, I think they did something else, and another law enforcement agency caught up with them even before I think the ICPC also maybe picked them up or something. I don't know, but basically that's how I knew it was a scam.
A heartbreaking story, you can say, and one that underscores a critical fact. Legitimate government recruitment is free, transparent, and announced only through official channels, never through agents or middlemen. So how do these syndicates operate, and what are the red flags? For insight, we turn to an ICPC investigator.
We have had cases of the syndicates. They have legs everywhere. They have in the APPS offices, they have in the ministries, they have in the head of service, they have everywhere. This implies that when they have a victim, they want to give a job, they demand for money. Once the money is given, they get an appointment letter for him. This appointment letter with signature that matches the signature of the authorized officer. They get them the appointment letter. They get them enrolled in the gazette. They get gazetted, and then the next step is IPPIS. They work their way into the system and they are receiving salary. Yet they are not staff of federal government. So we have met a lot of them and have been able to stop a lot of them. But many are still there. Many are still there. But when you look at 2013, you will see appointment letter. Someone will bring the appointment letter of 2013, 2014, and tell you they started earning salary in 2020. How is that possible? That you were recruited by federal government in 2013 and you never got any salary until 2020 you started receiving salary. That is actually the time they were able to insert that person in the APPIS and start receiving salary. When they approach you or you are looking for jobs, I know people are desperate to get jobs, and there is this culture of it is normal now. It is kind of normalized. So it's very serious, and it has gone so deep that nobody even cares to go looking for jobs anymore. They prefer to look for who to give money. I'll give you money since it is money you want so that you can give me a job. So what we need for them to do is, once a request is made, or once they approach you or they ask or demand for money for this job or for the to give you appointment letter, walk into ICPC office, go to operation department or any officer of the ICPC you can report to. Go there and ICPC will do the necessary things to bring down these syndicates. A lot of them have been brought down, but they are still growing because corruption is kind of normal now in the country. We are fighting every day, yet it's as if we are not doing enough because the people have seen it as a normal. So I will just say that the public should be the first. You report, we take up. If you don't report to us, we will not know. A lot of them that were able to do, because some people were bold to walk in and say they have asked me for money for a job. Then sometimes we give them the money, can't give them. We will be able to kick the person immediately.
Welcome back. This brings us to our segment, The Opportunity Cost of Corruption. When unqualified people buy their way into positions, becoming teachers who can't teach, engineers who can't build, or doctors who can't heal, the entire nation pays the price. Institutions weaken, public trust erodes, and lives are endangered. This is the true devastating cost of job racketeering.
What readily comes to my mind is a recent conviction which we had in Katsina State. An immigration officer who was in the habit of collecting money from the public, promising them for job opportunities in the immigration service. So there's this particular petition we received ICPC to investigate him. He collected the sum of 140,000 naira from an unsuspecting Nigerian who wanted to join the service. So at the end of the day, of course, no job was gotten. The victim said, "Give my money back." There was a lot of back and forth. So the petitioner ICP. So went through the matter. We discovered that yes, collected money, promise of a job. It didn't scale through. He couldn't return the money. So he let us investigation. So, but the issue is this: I discovered that there is an opportunity which another person had missed by not getting that job because of money. If you look at Section 8 and 9 of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000, it talks of, we'll call it gratification. That's the English used. Gratification, whether it is before or after, all is gratification. So when you find yourself in a position, no matter how desperate you are, do not, especially when it comes to government, public offices or public officers, somebody's telling you, promise you, if you give me this amount, I will give you this employment. I will give you this position. I know somebody in this office. Once there are slots which they sell out. So when you find yourself in that position, both you, the giver, and the taker, you are all liable under the law, that is the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act, Section 8, 9, and 10, talks of gratification. So do all you can to avoid entangling yourself under such transaction. Notwithstanding, no matter how you know the person and his position, do not give, do not take. That is just the simple. So the impact touches on all aspects of the society, even the community. Once you're supposed to put a square peg in a square hole and you do otherwise, it comes back to haunt the society. Let me give you an example. A contract was to be awarded, for a community hospital. Also, even transformer. There's so many things they needed to award to the community. And the person who's in charge, I will say this now, is still pending, I won't mention names, was a senior legislative aide to a senator who is aware that the senator wants to do this for the constituency. And the senator had told him, don't put your hand into these contracts. Give it out. But he has companies. So he used the companies who were not even qualified for this company. These companies were not qualified. So what happened was the community reported to the senator, which they also petitioned the ICPC. So you see that in this scenario now, what happens? The community is suffering. They're supposed to have good roads. So you see the effect is that on the society. The society cannot have maximum benefit, cannot have maximum enjoyment of the contracts or whatever benefit is supposed to come to the company. Why? Because somebody somewhere wants to gain advantage, corrupt advantage to himself or somebody that is close.
And that concludes this week's edition of Transparency Files. Let's quickly bring you reports from ICPC state offices. Khadija Ibrahim is our guide.
A report from Ondo State reveals that the ICPC conducted a 5-day anti-corruption sensitization program from January 19th to 23rd. The exercise reached students across 10 public and private secondary schools in Akure. The sessions focused on integrity, academic honesty, and responsible decision-making, where Mr. Jenmi Gani Owolabi of ICPC urged the students to serve as ethical role models, resist peer pressure, and make value-driven choices. Coming from Makurdi, ICPC participated in a 2-day anti-corruption workshop for newly employed staff of the Benue State University Teaching Hospital. The workshop addressed workplace corruption and its impact on public trust. Mr. Life Kagobe of ICPC delivered a paper on curbing corruption in the workplace, where he highlighted the types, consequences, and the control measures of corruption. He also encouraged the participants to uphold ethical standards in service delivery. Still from Makurdi, the Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Benue State, Dr. Peter Obo Ebodo, paid a courtesy visit to the Benue State office to strengthen collaboration and promote sustained public enlightenment on accountability and work ethics. The resident anti-corruption commissioner, Mr. Mustafa Abubakar Wala, welcomed the collaboration and described the ministry as a strategic partner. He pledged ICPC's support and reaffirmed commitment to joint public enlightenment, education, and system study initiatives. And from Delta State, ICPC has inaugurated Students Anti-Corruption Club and sensitized students of Noble Academy, Oshimili, on anti-corruption values. Mrs. Stella Chibuzo of ICPC educated students and teachers on the mandate of the Commission and charged the students to always choose the path of honesty and integrity in their everyday lives.
I am a Nigerian, a highly cultured race. My culture abhors corruption, and with my integrity, a new Nigeria is possible. I say no to corruption today to build a future for my children. Join me and imbibe the culture of integrity to build a Nigeria of our dreams.
You're watching Transparency Files. Let this be your reminder. No legitimate government job requires payment. Always verify information through official channels. If you encounter a suspicious offer, report it immediately to the ICPC via our website, hotline, or state offices. Join us again next week, Friday at 6:30 p.m. on NTN Network and NTA International. Until then, stay informed, stay vigilant, and help us build a more transparent Nigeria. Compliment of the season.